Check 1 2. Check 1 2. You gonna be on today's session?
No, I've got a conference call and then I'm scheduled.
Okay. Um, yeah, I'll follow up with you after we're done. Anything changing? Anything different?
No, everything's pretty much the same.
Any word on the case or anything?
No, not since we told them that we weren't going to release them until we got paid.
Release what until we get paid?
We're not going to release code yet.
From the lawsuit?
Yeah.
What do you, how are they trying to get out of it?
Yeah.
Are you're countersuing or like what's going on? Like,
I mean, we've always had our invoice out there.
yeah, but are they trying to get out of it? And you're saying, well, no, motherfucker, you got to pay first. I'm just curious where we're at.
Their attorney's trying to get out of the case. And we said, we don't care if their attorney gets out of the case. That just means you're going to have to get a new one.
Well, yeah, with his attorney withdrawing, that doesn't change the case at all. You're making it sound like they were wanting to stop.
Yeah, they were wanting to settle it.
Then did you say, yeah, we'll settle it, pay your invoice, and we'll be done?
That's what we said.
Well, god damn it, I can't go after him because I filed bankruptcy. Fuck that motherfucker. Anyway, so legal standing wise, Kevin's still not really ready to move forward with you until you got this resolved, regardless, right?
Right.
And you feel good about where that's standing at the moment. I've always felt good about it. I just don't. I didn't have the resources to fight it. I'm too. I don't have. I don't even own anything. Like, anyway.
But, I mean, technically, I don't own anything either.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tell that to the condo and everything else you got. You fucking. Okay. Are you putting that underneath Angie's name? That how that worked out for you last time, asshole?
There's liens on everything.
Can't take it. You're a hot mess, man. I love you. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, we need to start selling some shit. I actually have some crazy opportunities that are. Yeah, I'm working on some things that I hope that Kevin and you guys are going to be ready for. That's all. So let's yeah, go enjoy your day. I'll work with Kevin. Basically, I'm going to go over pricing with him today because what we're going to do is we're going to push things off till September, just so you know the plan. What I'm pushing for right now, and I'm always open to change. I'm every time I tell you guys what I'm going to do doesn't mean it's not open flexibility. I'm looking for the best path forward. So if you guys have suggestions, I'm all ears. But right now in September, I'm thinking about just dropping Enable altogether and getting things to where the MTP is truly licensed. So if you're working with us and you're an anchor, you get to make money off of the clients that we work with. But I'm not just going to be bringing clients into the fold. I'm expecting you and Kevin to bring your clients under the tech plan as well. So if you're showing up, I'm expecting you guys to be working in ways. How do we get the tech plan on our clients? What does a reactive tech plan look like? Jay, that's your realm. You're responsible for that. You know what you can take and what you can't manage, and your reviews, what you'll do in them and what you won't do in them. You're in charge of the reactive tech plan. The master tech plan, Navicor wants to sign off on it. So we may say, hey, we might need you to do a little extra of what you're wanting to do. I'm hoping you're flexible with that. Or we might say, hey, that's too much. Maybe we back it off a little bit. Either way, we're flexible. We're hoping you're flexible. We just want to build the best tech plans for each of us to manage. And you will be the reactive account manager moving forward, understanding what it takes to take a client from reactive and what you need to do to prepare them to hand them off to Kevin's team. Whoever owns the relationship keeps the relationship, but we work as a team managing the tech plans. Does that make sense?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know that Kevin's going to go along with that. And I mean, I just.
Don't worry about what Kevin says or thinks. What's you're the one that has objections here. What's your objection?
Well, I can't tell Kevin's guys what to do.
I'm not. Kevin will commit to that. Don't worry about what Kevin will do. I'm worrying about like, are you? What I'm hearing you say is Jay won't do that, and you're saying that through Kevin. Like, what do you mean his guys won't do what?
But if the phone calls for the clients that I have the relationships with are going to Summit,
No, they're going to go. They're going to go to the reactive service desk. We're going to have phone queues. Whoever's phone rings is like, we're going to create the service desk for reactive. We're going to create the service desk for proactive. You gotta trust that the model will work. We gotta compartmentalize these things. And all calls should be going to a service desk where technicians know how to handle things. They don't need it doesn't need to be Alan every time that calls it, that answers the phone. It doesn't need to be, yeah, it can be any technician. Alan will be involved because he's going to be an on-site tech. Guys that answering the phones, these people should never see them. They should be sitting at the desk all day, every day. They never leave a desk. Hell, hopefully we get. And I'm thinking of this being a national company, Jay. You guys are thinking with what we have now. You're not thinking about the thousands of clients that are come through this thing. Everything we have now will be great. It helped us get where we're going, but what we have right now is going to be small potatoes compared to where we're headed. If we want to stay stuck where we are, then yeah, sure, keep things the way they are. But if we're going to grow, we need to build it scalable, and we need to get everybody working together as a team. The three of us come together and build a sales machine that funnels people through us. That's the model. If you don't see it, then yeah, like, I'm not going to sit here and try to twist your arm into it. Just if you're showing up, I hope it's to help make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck with your conference. Let's pick it up next Wednesday, and I'm going to go over pricing with him and go over the worksheet with him and get his feedback from it. Hopefully, see his worksheet and see if we can't figure out a way to. I mean, you're doing pricing the same way I've done pricing, the model I built years ago, right? Have you changed the model?
And we've upped our workstations to $75 a piece.
Well, I told you to do that 2 years ago. That's where I've been for 2 years. But no, what I'm saying is other than the actual pricing, the 8 service groups with the breakdown under each service group, you're still using that model, right?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, except we're trying to push the Microsoft bill back to the client.
Well, that I think reactive. I think what we'll do is we'll set up a way for us to make money and manage that billing easier. So that way you don't like. I think reactive. I think they should pay us for it. I think part of getting them, you would be doing us a disservice to the MTP if you get a reactive client to start paying their own bill. What we do is we tee them up. That's part of going to proactive and preparing for managed. Does that make sense? We want to make that part of the roadmap. And I'm not saying you have to let go of clients anytime soon or have them call a different service desk anytime soon. We just need to build the model and understand the framework so we can all get familiar with it. So let's just let's build off the 8 service groups because that's under the tech plan management. That's the ecosystem that we built. And if they don't use that, then they're using something that's provided, right? The M and the P. It's all, the whole thing is still intact. You know the difference between provided and managed. If it's provided, we're covering it. If it's managed, it means somebody else is providing it and we're managing it. And if you need help with it, we're going to bill you for it. Or you should have VCIO that will cover that cost for covering those things, right? That's how the system works.
Yep.
All right. Let's meet next week. I'm going to get ready for Kevin.
Okay.
I see. Are you able to meet today? No, no rush. We'll be here. Jay can't make it. He had a conference call he couldn't avoid. So, but I got some stuff to go over with you. All right, see you. Morning, Kevin. It's weird.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. Morning.
Hi.
How are things going with you guys today?
Good, good. How are you? How's your? You look different.
Yeah, I cut my hair off. That's
You
probably.
grow your hair or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a little change in your look, man.
Yeah, well, when we went to Hawaii, I was like, I can't. I gotta clean up for the wifey, make it look good. Um,
Yeah. Did you have long hair when you guys met up?
no, no. Hell, I haven't had long hair since I was a teen when I was back in my music days. But no, just a couple years ago when I was working so hard, I just time started flying, and I just never went and got a haircut. And before I knew it, my hair was almost down to my shoulders. And the wife's like, I told her I need a haircut. She's like, no, don't cut it. I like it. So it was nice until it was too long. Then she's like, okay, it's time to go. Yeah, but no, if it was plus I knew once I got back from this trip, and um I had to get back into grind mode, like dealing with all the personal shit and the lot, like everything from 24 through 25. I knew once I got back from Hawaii, like I had to buck down and get busy because I'm embarrassed. Kevin, thank you for still being here, by the way. Pushing deadlines back, and I'm assuming you have something similar. I don't know much about your business, but it's really hard to move forward and have really good breakthroughs that really move things, like truly move things forward. So I've been stuck here for what seems like forever. The next chapter is right around the corner. I feel it. I just don't know what it's going to take to make things really move for this. And a lot of it's on me and making sure things are ready. So
you're trying to bite off a lot.
I am.
And so, you know, I don't know, you're trying to do a whole lot.
The concept's simple though. And if we can make small moves towards it, eventually the whole thing will come into play. And even by myself, doing it alone and solo, seeing how much, if I walk into any of my 3 clients, including Jay and his clients, you'll hear them use the terms I've been using for years, like tech stack and identity, and like, well, that's the industry, right? But small businesses wasn't talking about these things, and now they're talking about part of their business because I've helped them understand it enough to where they go, oh, we do need to take this more serious. I know I've made a big impact. When you have companies that are 30 years behind, and now they're only 15 years behind, that's still a pretty big jump, Joe. You shouldn't say that was nothing. But we're still 15 years behind. How do we need us to get closer? So, and I think that part of that need is on me. But you're right. This is such a huge thing. So we need to focus. And I did spend some time on my trip, and I kind of just dropped everything. I wanted to step away from it for weeks because I needed a refresh. I needed to come back with fresh eyes. I've talked to you about September is when Enable will be done here. Yes. I do want to make things easier for everybody. And I want to organically grow the MTP, working with those I'm working with that truly grows with us in a way that is our pace. I don't want clients being faced with this. There's so much we can do behind the scenes to tailor ourselves and to position ourselves to where we are ready to have a sit down review with the client and say, hey, we've been managing some things, and we see the way we've been managing things internally for us has made huge improvements. We're seeing the same gap with you guys because we've been managing your tech stack. We have this new tech plan we're introducing. We would love to, get some time with you if we can talk about it. And it's all practical. You don't have to push any of it. The clients will go, oh yeah, I want to be professional. I want to look good and secure. I want good posture. I want to be solid in my industry. And that's how we sell it. We sell it by not selling it, but by educating them and getting them to just approve the budgets that are needed to put things in place. So, how do we do all that? How do we organically grow this, meeting everybody where they are? So, Jay, I told you this before I went on my trip. I kind of had this idea of Jay's going to be the reactive account manager.
Okay.
All the client relationships we have now already in place, leave them in place. And until we're ready. So, any future opportunities that come in right now, keep doing what you're doing. But at some point, we're going to say, hey, it's time. And when we say it's time, that means, okay, any new relationship coming in, we're going to have a sales funnel. Anything coming in through it, hey, that client's reactive. That's going to go under Jay's responsibility. Put them underneath Jay. That client's proactive. Let's get them underneath Kevin. Let's get them set up. And once they're ready for managed, oh, hey, you know what? Joe's got 3 managed clients. We've learned the MTP enough where we can take another client, or we got a new opportunity coming through. Let's take a client and introduce them to the MTP and see if they're willing to bite on it on their end instead of behind the scenes. Also, part of this is I want you to get good at helping reactive account managers, because Jay is one of many I hope to have come through to us, because Jay will be the only anchor reactive client account manager that's reactive. But we're going to get other reactive companies that do IT support reactively that want to use the MTP. And when they do, we have a model that they can look at and go, oh, yes, I will operate like that. Or I can adopt these things and license these things from you guys and work with you. And maybe even use our service desk, because we've created a service desk for them. So now Johnny Ponytail, doing his own thing, can license the MTP. And now they have a whole tech stack to support them, a whole team to support them. So that is the picture that I'm trying to paint here for us. And we have to work as a team to do this. So Jay's already using your workstation agents and everything else. So if we can have reactive, proactive, and managed clients all using the same thing, that'll help the transition from reactive to proactive to managed. It'll help that transition. And that means you will own all of the money coming in for, and we're going to go over that here in a second. I'm going to go over our worksheet. This is how we break down our billing and how we do things. I want to show it to you so that way we can see what you think of it and how it fares with you, because this is the managed worksheet. Jay uses it for reactive as well. So if you were to use it, that means you'd have to adopt a system that we're both using to your way. What I'm hoping is that you're going to bring insights to make the worksheet better, to where the worksheet will work for Jay, you, and I. So the worksheet is how we do our billing. And then we have what we call our VCIO billing. So if you understand how we do our billing and our structure, and you can help make it to where you're willing to go, yes, I'll own that. I'll use that structure. Then I think we've made huge progress as far as aligning on the back end with the MTP. So another part of this is I did this little thing I was brainstorming earlier. Let me share my screen. You can see my screen, right? You can see this drawing I got up here. So essentially what I've done here is Navicore has these services, the VCIO, the VCMO, the VCFO. These are the CIO is the IT side of things. The MO is the marketing and sales side of things. The FO is the financial. These are the services we're going to be doing down the road holistically for the master plan or whatever it's going to be called. We have all these companies that are that are part of it right now. Fisher Design is partnering with us to help us. They're going to be doing the CMO stuff. Wegman Company, they're there to be a guinea pig and to be our true managed environment, to be our testament, to show other clients what a managed environment looks like, or whether that be a MSP or a client wanting to use us for their IT management. AP Schweitzer does our CFO stuff. Summit Digital, you're going to be our service desk and our anchor MSP. Cincy PCS, they're going to be right there with you as an anchor, helping us out, and you guys are going to kind of work as a team. And then we have 3Z Net as our data center. And these are the businesses that have said they are working with and acknowledge what the MTP is and helping it move forward. Okay. And there's a bunch of other people that don't have companies that are part of this as well, but I didn't list them. So the way I see this is there's a couple of companies already that have a lot of our services. Fisher and Wegmans, the biggest people that use our services. We already have some of them using CFO and CMO roles. Some of those roles are already being developed with those clients. AP Schweitzer is another one. They have a lot of these as well. But all these clients are also delivering parts of the MTP. So one of the things I want to, as we look at the services that our clients are using, like Summit, for instance, you guys, if you guys need help in any of the areas, I want us to work together in this big group. If you need marketing, if you need financial support, if we all work together to, like, as a partnership, bring everybody together to help enhance and uplift and elevate everybody, that's kind of what we're trying to do here in this little MTP grouping. So that's one side of this. The other side of this is every one of these businesses have clients. AP Schweitzer has clients. 3ZNet has clients. They all have clients. You know what BNI is, right?
Yeah.
We're our own little BNI, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our clients, like, they will all need, and we will be able to see where there's gaps and be, hey, can I refer you to talk to our CFO guy? He's great, and I think you could really help with some of these things in the IT budgeting that we're doing. However you want to introduce it, but that's where we are. So let's okay, that's enough for the big picture and the model and what we're headed towards. Do you see anything or hear anything in there you'd like to change or that you'd like to improve or that you don't like?
Well, so this is where I guess where I maybe it's terminology, but talking about reactive and Jay's going to be the reactive, but then like a lot of what we've been working with is and trying to figure out is having us do the reactive stuff. When I think about reactive, I'm thinking about like reactive tickets and help desk and stuff like that. Right?
That's a big part of it. Yes. But
so
we all do reactive work, even on the managed side. We all have reactive work. The goal is to build systems to make it less reactive. So you guys will know when something comes up. Oh, that shouldn't be, because we have systems that take care of this. Why is this happening? So you're right. You're going to have to take on reactive calls. Jay's going to have to take on reactive calls. I'm going to have to take on reactive calls. It's bucketing the clients where they go, and they will call the service desk. And I hope your service desk will be the one that answers all reactive, all proactive, and all managed calls. The way we break this down. Go ahead.
Okay, I guess where I started thinking is, okay, so you kind of already have a process for that. You're already doing that. If we're going to, like, what if we don't start there? We leave that kind of where that is, and then
you mean Jay taking on all the calls?
Yeah, like you've got some system for doing that already, right?
Okay, that's fair.
Rather than reinventing that, and then we start doing more of the proactive stuff. When you're talking about us doing more of the proactive stuff, so I guess to me, what that means is the
backups, the security checks, all the checklist, the back end checklist,
TVRs, and like those sometimes if they've got servers, checking those servers, checking the patching, right, making sure that that's up to date. That's part of the security and stuff like that, right? And kind of just really checking against the MTP, like how compliant are they with the MTP.
Correct. And we want to build out those things, and we have to look at so let's do this. Let's look at the service groups. That's going to be a great conversation. We're going to dig into it. The way we do account management. I just stopped sharing. No, I didn't. Can you still see my screen?
Well, yeah.
Good. Right, so under account management, this is how we do account management. I'm actually creating a document to help make this better. Yeah, that's account management. All right, so we have a few root folders here for reference. Then we have all the client folders. All right, now anybody that is prospects will show up here. These are all potential clients that we're working on that may come into the fold. Any unassigned clients, these are all clients that are super small and don't need a account manager because there's like 2 or 3 people that work there. Unsubscribed, these are clients that have not subscribed yet that should be, but there's nobody in there because we took care of them all, which is good. So we have prospects, unassigned, unsubscribed, and then we have our list of clients. Now, all these clients they have an account manager. Now, Summit, you're in here. Yeah, anyway, the way we do this is every client gets there's 4 things in the root of their folder. Every client, I don't care which client you go to, there should be 4 items in the root of their folder. That consistency is we have the service groups. We have 8 service groups. We're going to go over the worksheet that covers the private cloud all the way down to web management. Then we have VCIO, which is certain areas like objectives, wellness checks, sessions, reviews, identity, management, finances, assets. That's all managed under VCIO. So that folder is there. We have 2 folders. Then we have 2 documents. We have our profile, which the profile is just a document that says, I wanted to create a profile for each client or each tech plan that we manage. So this is the tech plan profile for this small CPA firm. Okay. It talks about who they are, gives a little blurb about who they are in the relationship with Navicore. It talks about their tech stack and their employees, and it talks about their, basically just a profile over how they're managed. So by having that profile, that gives us anybody, like if I got hit by a bus, that'd be a great resource for someone that's picking up where I left off. And then we get into the worksheet. The worksheet is where we have fun. And you know what? I'm not going to use his worksheet because I know that one needs updated. Let's use Wegmans. They have a review coming up, and I know I've updated it recently. All right. So the way we do worksheets is if there's any improvements or if there's going to be a change to their budget, we will take a copy of all the sales and paste them over to the right. So that way we have the old budget on the left and the new budget on the right here. So that's what you're seeing here. There's 2 budgets here. The old budget, which was $9,095, and their new budget, which it went down to $8,075. So that's why you're seeing 2 lists here. Okay. So the worksheet, the way it works is we just have a few columns here, the quantity, the amount, and the totals. And it's broken down by 8 service groups. We have private cloud. So you have your total here. All the items that make up private cloud equate to right here. All the items that equal workstations are under workstations here. In Microsoft 365, we have unified comms, which is VoIP. If they want additional DIDs, they're $3 a month per a DID. Microsoft Teams, if they want Teams numbers, we charge $25 per user that has a Teams line. That's if we're paying their Microsoft bill and we're charging them for Microsoft, which we've gotten away from that model. And you'll see here, their Microsoft 365 tenant was $16.45. It dropped down to 0 because they started paying their own bill. I kind of put notes here to let them know when we did the review of the worksheet that you're taking over your own Microsoft payment. So that's why this is down to 0. Workstations went up from $45 to $75 a piece, which is why you went from $1,080 to $1,675 on workstations. Like, it just helps you explain to them any price increases, any changes in how things are managed, all that good stuff. So the way we break down our worksheet is under private cloud. We charge for every LAN that we have to manage for them. It's $25 a month. So if they have 2 production networks, which Wegman does, I charge them $50 a month to manage those 2 networks. WAN, they have 2 WANs. They have a Verizon WAN and they have a Altafiber WAN. We charge them $25 a month to manage each of those. So right now they're paying $100 a month just for us to manage their networks alone. Now we're providing them a firewall. That firewall costs them $200 a month. The switches they have 5 switches. We charge $75 per unit on a switch. Now, some switches, like a small switch, might be 1 unit. A large PoE switch with 48 ports, a Meraki 48 port switch, that'd be 3. It'd be like 225 a month. So depending on which switch you have, or no, switches, large switches are 2, small switches are 1, or non-PoE switches are 1, PoE switches are 2 for management.
So that's hardware as a service, like you own those?
Correct. We own those. We own the hardware. Correct. That's why it's so pricey. If it wasn't, if they own their hardware, we'd still be charging them to manage those things, but they wouldn't be where they are now. They would license and own their own. And that may in Wegman, truly being part of managed is getting them to own their own tech stack. In 2027, we're going to be we're either renewing our Meraki and keeping it going, or we're going to be breaking it all up and our clients have to buy their own shit. One of those two things are coming. And I've already started planting that seed with my clients now. I'm already having that conversation now because I know it's coming in 2027. So the access points, they only have like 4 or 5 areas to the business, but I know they have like a really big, a couple really big access points. So they do this the same way we do access points is the same way we do switches. If they have like a large access point with lots of throughput and lots of coverage, it's 2 units. If it's a small, it's 1. And again, that's hardware as a service. And then we have cellular backup and client VPN third party. Jay wanted to be able to provide people VPN access, so we created we carved out a section that where we can give people VPN on their computer. We call it the Navicore VPN. We charge them $50 a month if they're a third party and wanting to use the VPN for one of our clients. It's $50 per user that they sign up. So Brandycore has Fidelity that needs to be able to log into their servers and do things. They needed to be able to VPN in, so we had to set VPN on the 3 Fidelity people's computers. So they had to get permission from their IT company to allow us into their computers to set up the VPN, which we got permission and we set it up. And we set up the VPN for them. And I told Jay, I was like, don't do that for free. That's everything that you do is added value, and we should be able to charge for that. So that's when we came up with the $50 per user, and the client didn't sneeze at it. They said that's fine. Whether that's fair or not, I want this to be fair. I want this to be something that you're proud of and that you want to adopt and charge your clients, or maybe you have a better system. I don't know. I created this out of thin air. Workstations, we do $75 per workstation, and that covers their support. We don't charge for support over the phone. We don't even charge anybody that has VCIO. We don't charge for on-sites either. They're paying their premium. They were part of their staff. Why would they pay extra unless it's overtime? They wouldn't pay their staff extra. So, any questions on private cloud before we go in, or workstations or private cloud before I go on to tenant?
So how are you handling sales tax?
Sales tax for the services of which services?
Well, like the 365 license,
We don't. So not Icora did the taxes. We did all that shit before, but now that we're Navicore, we don't. We're not providing any licensed software like Microsoft 365.
So, but some of them you said you're paying for their 365 licenses, right?
Icora did. Jay is still doing that. I know that, and he charges sales taxes on his stuff. Everything that on the managed side, it's all services.
Okay, so but where you like on this one, they said they started going direct instead of you, but like not everybody.
Oh yeah, when I switched over from when I had to shut down Icora, I could not start up the same business. I could not just shut down and redo the whole thing. So I had to. So I told the clients that I manage, which there's only 4 that I directly manage. Okay. I told them all, like, hey, I'm starting a new company and I can't pay for your Microsoft anymore. You guys want to pay direct now. I've made up for it in other ways because I did lose but I told them I'm going to charge them a flat fee of $500 a month to charge them to manage their 365 environment. But yeah, they're paying their own bills for software. The only thing.
Is there anything on here you're charging sales tax for, or you don't charge sales tax at all?
Everything is a service at the moment. The only thing I'm skeptical on, I'm waiting to hear back from Andy on, is the hardware as a service portion.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't provide any. If the client can pay for it directly themselves, yeah. Now, like the workstations, we don't charge taxes on the licensed software on each workstation either. Do you guys charge taxes on workstations?
So we, the licenses for the products that are on there, we do, but we break it out, and the reason we do that is to keep the sales tax as low as we can.
You mean you pay the sales taxes to Datto, or?
Mm-hmm. No, we don't pay sales tax to Datto.
You're charging sales tax for your workstations, is what you're saying.
So if we're reselling licenses, then yeah, we're charging sales tax.
Yeah, we use the license for us on our end. The client's not necessarily paying for the license. They're not using the software. We are. That's how it was explained to me. I could be wrong. Again, I want this to be solid, so it has to be right.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either, because the accountants are always.
I think however they can twist it, that's how they're going to twist it. But to me, that's when I told Andy, and I want this right, because I do not need anything that's going to take us backwards. But yeah, when I told Andy, I was like, this has to be a service. Navicore's management in the MTP has to be service based only. Now, if you start, like when we do the transition, and let's say workstations are supposed to be assigned or taxed because of the licensing or whatever, you're going to be handling all that come September. So like, we have a plan to get that aligned. If that's the case, I'm going to double check with Andy. I'm recording this, so I'll be able to double check with him. But yeah, that's all. That's why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, I don't know the exact answer. It's just a question.
Yep, it's a good question. But no, the way that we operate is that we don't want to deal with sales tax. We just want to be able to provide services, because I was with Icora, it was such a headache. I was like, I just want to provide service. I just want it to be a service. And Andy's like, okay, well, here's how we're going to do it. So this is what we came up with. Now, as far as workstations go, we only charge for spares outside of workstations, and the spare could just be sitting there, like that's what it's supposed to be doing, sitting there and waiting. So Wegman, for instance, they have 18 of their computers are from actual use. 4 of them are like kiosk or infrastructure, which we've updated this to have a kiosk down here now. But having a spare, essentially, the way we use it is it's under warranty. If a user's machine breaks or whatever, we give them the spare. If their machine can't be repaired, we replace it. They keep the spare, and we just replace the thing, and then that new one machine becomes the spare. That way, we always have a new machine ready to go. And if somebody has something breaks, it gets put in there, and it's always getting used eventually within the 3 to 5 year period with the Pro Support Plus from Dell, because it will get used before that warranty is up. So we get another one in place. We'll always have something under warranty in play and have an extra spare. So that's part of the system we have there with the MTP, if they're using spares.
Yeah.
M365, we're going to pass, because again, that's kind of self-explanatory. In your world, we will want to know what that looks like and have M365 broken down and its worksheet broken down. Because Jay needs to be able to provide 365, and Jay said that he wants to take some of his clients and take them to where he's not paying their 365 anymore. They're paying for direct. I said, if you do that, you're basically you're getting them moved to proactive. That's one of the things that will need to happen in order for them to be proactive, is that they're paying their own bill. are you wanting your clients to pay you for Microsoft? Is that better for you?
It is better for me. It helps with our 365, for our Microsoft partnership levels and stuff. That's the biggest. It's not like you make a ton of money off of it, but
But you want that standing. Are you a direct?
So, and, yeah. They have a couple. I can't stand Microsoft's partner.
They change it every 2 or 3 years too. It's a nightmare.
They make it. I feel like they intentionally make it as difficult as possible so people can't take it. That's my opinion. Conspiracy theory, whatever. But what are you gonna do, right? So
they're in the driver's seat. What can you do?
I know. So there are a couple different ways we can kind of get credit for that. The easiest is if we resell them, and then we've got a little bit of margin too. We can also sell them for less than they would get them from Microsoft. So there's a bit of a benefit there.
Well, then that tells me that taking them from paying us directly to paying it directly themselves, that would be more of a managed level. We want them to get managed before that happens. Okay. Because if we know what we need in order to make the business thrive, we know how to push things out here. So if I hear that it's better for us to have 365 through us, then yeah, Jay needs.
There is an advantage to Summit to be the.
So instead of Jay handing his clients off to pay directly, he'd be better off having them go underneath you.
Well, I would be better off.
Well, the MTP would be better off if the three of us are building the MTP.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset, and that's where I want us to live.
Right. And then the clients could be better off too because I can sell it for less than they would.
That's the whole point of this. That's what I was telling you earlier. You shouldn't have to push to sell something if it's that good. The MTP is that good. We just need people to be understand.
To be honest, I don't always discount it. Sometimes I charge them the same, but
we need to know
there's a little bit.
When you change standards from client to client like that, like this client we're charging this much, this client we're giving them a little bit of a break. That kind of stuff, that scares me a little bit. I hope as we build this out that kind of starts to dwindle away a little bit, that we get a little bit more consistent with that. But I understand where you're at. That's hard because there was times where when I was charging clients, I was afraid to charge this client the extra, but this one was okay. Like, it starts to get a little misconstrued, but
sometimes it's a way to win the business or, especially somebody who's going direct to, or not direct to Microsoft, but going through like a big like SHI or Insight or something like that. They're paying less than retail as this. So to get them over, to me, I've got to kind of, at least be competitive or beat them. So.
Yeah, I was charging $55 a month for what we called Pro. That would be a mix of the E3, Defender for 365, and a cut like P2 for Intro ID or something. Like anyway, but yeah. So Microsoft 365 worksheet portion, getting that standardized, and over the next tech, between now and the beginning of the next tech plan, that's something that we can work to start getting standardized and through reviews. That's how we do it. We find our price point and then we just say, okay, we'll make it that. Then we go to each client and you never change things on the first conversation with the client. I always say, have a review with them, let them know that this change is coming in the future. And that way, the next session, when you have the meeting, you say, hey, we brought this up last time, it's here. We got to make this adjustment. I found a lot more success with that. If you just dump it on them, hey, this month or this quarter, we're going to be doing an increase, this and that. It makes us look so much better if we look like we know it's coming down the pipeline. We just didn't find out today and we're letting you know now. Like, that's the worst to me anyway.
It is, although Microsoft's done
they dump shit on you on the last minute.
They said, as of today, all of a sudden, this is the new thing. And everyone was like, what the hell?
Absolutely.
They're like, yeah, it just, but again,
Well, when we get as big as Microsoft, we have to remember.
So, well, you know they're changing, but sometimes they're changing their suites and their pricing next month, right? Like,
Oh, what,
yeah,
are they?
next month.
I know that with teams being separated and stuff. Like I knew that they were making a change to. I knew they had to make a change because of the way things were working.
Right. They did all that. So I think next month they're changing, like as far as like what's included in 365 Business Premium and Pro and Standard and all that, and the prices are changing fairly significantly.
Oh yeah, what's the premium going up to? Like, what is it now? Like $40 a month, and it's going to go up to 80.
I don't remember. I think it's like you know July 1st. So 365 Business Premium new change 14. So okay, I don't know. The premium change standard is going from 1250 to 14. That's with teams. Without teams, it's from 929 to 1079. Basically, standard both increase and purpose included additional, but they're also raising the size of the mailbox you get with that too. Like they're making changes to what's included, but the pricing, it's not insignificant.
Yeah, I thought it was Hermes Start. Is that not what I did? Well,
But if you're not really selling those, then
well, I'm not, but you are. And if the MTP, so does the MTP sell Microsoft? It needs to be able to. It needs to be able to sell Adobe. It needs to be able to sell a lot of things. So we need those capabilities. A managed tech plan that truly matures and evolves into a managed environment that we are truly the managers of this business. Basically, this business, we are gods in this business. We are the ones full control of all the information and data, and we're controlling the SOP and P, the standards and procedures and the policies. We are the ones that know how this business runs and make sure it's all documented in their systems properly, so that way they can focus on their business. So there's so much power in that, and you have to trust the people that you wield that, like that you give that power to. And that's what this whole platform is supposed to be, is with the clients that we have, the relationships we already have. If you go talk to Wegman, there's going to be frustration there. Yeah, we got a lot that we say we're going to do and that we're trying to get to, just like we are. But we are getting movements. They'll tell you that if you were to take it away and put another IT company in there, I guarantee they would be lost. And that kind of scares me too. I don't want to make it to where it's so unique to where somebody else comes in, they won't be able to manage it. I would think if you came in and saw the admin team site and had all that information in front of you of how things were managed, I think it would be pretty easy. Yeah, I don't think most. I don't know how people would go back from it once they have it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So getting off track here, getting back to the worksheet. Let's figure out the Microsoft 365 piece. Unified comms. Let's have a talk about that for a second. So you guys are primary 365. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on 3CX and having Twilio and SIP and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on Twilio, but PCX is good. And Twilio is not necessarily bad. Like, I don't know if it matters.
Well, what I like about Twilio is it's basically a voice platform of itself.
Yeah, I get it.
And there's so much there I don't know, but I do think we should use it for, if not that, then something already in our tech stack. And that's another thing is I'm trying to limit our tech stack. I don't want to, like, if we can do everything in Microsoft, great, let's do it all in Microsoft. But I know we can't. But going outside of our tech stack and adding more LOB apps and services to it, the fewer the better. So I'm hoping Twilio is our voice solution outside of Microsoft that will cover everything else, like fill all the gap. The faxes, it does with fax, with their Alohi. I don't know if you know their digital Alohi. What do you guys do for fax?
I'm sorry, wait. What was that?
Faxing.
Faxing?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have a good solution for faxing.
Yeah, you do. You do now.
Okay.
So fax.plus is what we use. It's under the same leg and brand as Twilio and everybody else. But basically, do I have an account? I think I do have an account. I don't. Super simple. They can use Outlook to do faxing. We even under Tech Plan here, we can do faxing via Outlook. So I created this page on Wegmans. It just explains to them how to do it. How do you send the email, and if you want to fax it, if you want to access the faxes, what mailbox do they come into? They come into fax.wegmancompany.com. So when they receive a fax, that's where it comes in at. And if you click right here, it'll take you straight to the fax service to log in. I set all this up for them to make it easy for them. Like, I'm managing it, but it's theirs to manage.
So how does it handle outgoing?
Yeah, so if you want to send, you basically in Outlook, you type in the number at this weird address, at fax.plus. So for example, this is what you would add, separate each number by comma. For example, this number plus comma plus 1 5 blah, blah, blah. So if you want to fax it to multiple numbers, that's what you would, separating by comma. And yeah, you can put something in the subject line if you want. That'll be on the header, and then whatever's in the body will get faxed. Attachments.
What if you had a piece of paper that you were trying to fax?
You scan it into your computer and email it over to them through fax.
Okay.
In fact, I wonder if we can make it to where they can just, if they have a fax machine, if they have a copier, MFP, they should be able to scan to email and type that in, because the number will be different unless they fax the same place every time. Then they could add it. Like, yeah.
So does it show up in your sent items and stuff?
For the mailbox that you choose, I set up a service account for it, so that way everybody has to go to fax at Wegman in order to send or receive faxes. That's where they come in. If you want to go to an individual, well, then we just set them up with a separate number, if you will, and they'll get a separate account.
Okay, so that's probably not going to be. So I wonder if it would be HIPAA compliant.
It is. Yeah, that was one of the big ones for our dentist and our. Yeah.
But if it shows up in your email, then you have to make your email system HIPAA compliant, right?
I mean, hopefully your email system is HIPAA compliant.
I guess if they're medical anyway.
Yeah,
because it's medical and like accountants that are in it too, that are still.
Yeah.
And law enforcement.
Andy gets them like crazy. Like if I look at my inbox, because I get hit with them too. Like I get faxes. Like I'm surprised that it's still used as much as it is, to be honest. Yeah. But yes,
it's just funny. It's considered more. more secure method of transmission because it's older. The new stuff is not secure.
It's wild.
It's
But yeah, they told me 15 years ago, someone said, yeah, in 10 years, we won't have POTS lines anymore. I'm like, yeah, no, I think we're going to, that copper's, it's a pretty big infrastructure. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. All right. So, yeah, Microsoft Teams, it's $25 per person that has it, blah, 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 blah. Now, we have minimums here. This is not our minimum for VoIP. Our minimum for VoIP is $200 a month. I'm charging them $450 a month because I can. So you told me earlier that your pricing, this is how I do my pricing, just so you know. You have your base pricing, and then if you think you can charge more for your client, as long as you can justify it. And the way I justify it for these guys is that they're, $200 a month would be the same for the 2-man team. This is a company that has 20 people in the office and 60 out in the field. Their phone system is heavily utilized, and there's dozens of extensions. They're getting billed $450, not $200. So I bill it based off of complexity and how big in usage it is. There's no real standard there, but there's a minimum. I won't go below that floor. I won't go below that baseline. If I do go below that baseline, I believe if any of us go below the baseline, Jay, you and I should get together and say, hey, this client, I want to have their worksheet. I want to charge them $150 for their phones. I think it's because of XYZ we can do that. We'll be like, oh, sure, fine. Yeah, that's good. But we don't need to get approval to go the other way. Or maybe we should. Do you think we should have approval if they want to go above? I want us to have accountability in the MTP, and I want us to stick to standards. And if we're going outside the standards, which is fine, rules are meant to be broken. We're going to break rules all the time. But we got to be able to justify it and be able to clearly state, yep, we're breaking a rule here. Is that fair?
Yeah, I'm sure. You can kind of be on that hat. I mean, you see that all the time, right? That's what the used car salesmen tell you, right? Like,
yep.
I have to go below this, I have to get manager approval.
Yep. And our baseline pricing should be good enough to where you never feel like you should have to go ask for approval. And just because you can go higher doesn't mean you should go higher. I'm hoping we get enough business going through us where we're never thirsty enough to where we're nickel and diming clients. That's a place I'd like us to be in. That would be the desired state. All right. Unified comms. I think that's pretty much it. Digital signage. Yeah. So displays on walls, things of that nature. Do you guys do any digital signage?
Okay.
What do you guys use for digital signage?
I don't know the at desk, Glenn. I don't know the right. And conference room systems. Been doing kind of a lot of conference room systems actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Joseph Sunderman. Don't log me in as that. Log me in as there we go. So Yodec is what we use.
Yeah.
So we can go to the different playlists they have. They have operational safety. This is in the warehouse. This is in the lobby. This is the second warehouse TV. And I can't remember which one. Like if you go to their team site, this little thing playing right here, this is one of the playlists that's playing on the TV in the lobby and in the warehouse for the guys. So I have it playing here on their team site. And when you walk into their front door, there's a TV and off to the right, you'll see it playing there. And I added a plugin so the announcements that are put on the board show up here.
Yeah.
And then we have our own little announcement section here. Yeah. But that's what digital signage is. We want to be able to do that and manage it through this system. And we can do real-time stats and stuff off of SharePoint sites. And as we're building apps, if they want to see production numbers out on the floor or something, that's something we're working on. We're working on scheduling right now so they can see their schedules on the TV as they're walking by. letting them know everything's on track, blah, 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 blah. Unified comms. Yeah, that's it for unified comms. Infrastructure. This is everything that's IoT. I told you earlier we have workstations and spares under workstations. Kiosks used to live there too. I moved them down to infrastructure because I just figured they're just like everything else. Plus, if it's marked infrastructure, that lets us know that it's not tied to one single user and that we are truly the managers of that system. So any kiosk that we're managing would go here, and they only have one kiosk, and that's their training kiosk. That's the one that all the users go to do their training for orientation. They have like a little training room set up, so we just charge them $25 a month for any kiosk that they have. Any appliances that they have is $75 a month. They have 2 appliances. I consider their ESX an appliance.
Oh, okay.
Their server itself is it needs to be supported, and we charge $250 a month per server. And the appliance on top of that,
Okay.
so yeah, the servers are the actual operating systems. I'm not going to charge them $250 a month to manage their ESX, but I need to, or their video camera system. That's the second one. So they have a DVR there, or NVR, whatever it's called. Any kind of that would be considered an appliance and be considered IoT. So we put that under printers, scanners. So they either follow a server, kiosk, appliance, or printer or scanner. That's worked for us with our small set of clients so far. Now, I don't know how you break down your infrastructure or how you build things, but this model, we haven't had any issues with it as far as infrastructure goes.
Sure.
So if they have a server on premise and we're managing that, that's great. $250 a month, blah, blah, blah. But if they want to host that server, it's $200 a month. Now, Wegman, they own their own server. They are not hosting anything now. They used to have one. Part of their reduction in their pricing this last change was because, they went to a cloud solution for their ERP system. And when they did that, they didn't have to have an SQL server anymore. So we could shut down that server, and that cut back their bill. So that's why they don't have any hosted servers now. And now we're preparing for 27. Since this data center won't be used anymore, I'm telling them you're either going to 3Z or you're buying a new server. Which one is it? So we're starting those conversations next month in July. And then VDI, cloud storage is, I don't know if you know much about SharePoint, but you only get like 1 terabyte per tenant. And then every user gives you an extra 10 or so gigabytes to add to your team site. So if you have, let's say, 1.6 terabytes available in SharePoint, but you need 5, you got to pay for extra storage.
Mm-hmm.
Fisher's a great example of that, with them having 25 terabytes in their tenant right now.
Yeah.
Their tenant is bloated, and we charge them $220 per terabyte a month because Microsoft charged us, I think we were paying $205 or $210. So we weren't making money off of it. It was just to transfer of funds. But now that they have to pay for it themselves, so if we're charging for it, that would be the price point, maybe a little bit more. But I'm trying to keep cloud storage price the same. I mean, we are managing it, this and that, so there should be a little bit of overhead on it. But we also have VCIO. That's what's billing us for the management of things. So it's kind of messy. VDI, virtual desktop infrastructure. So do you guys have a lot of VDI clients? So we have a couple clients that they have 5 workstations, and they have all remote workers, and they all just remote into a workstation in the data center, and they do their work. They have their own little private network. They're all can see each other and work from each other, and they're secure. And so if you have that, for each workstation, it's $65 a month. And that will also be an additional $75 a month, because you got the $75 from the workstation license that has to be on it, then the $65 a month to have the machine running in the environment. So you're paying $140 a month to have a user using VDI. Data vaults. We do server, client, and tenant backups. $250 a month to back up the tenant, $150 a month per server backup. Web management. Hosting, graphic design, brand guidelines. If we're managing that for you, it's so much a month. SSL and security, $15 a month, which they're free nowadays anyway. So we're using HubSpot for everything. We're not even really hosting websites anymore. The digital asset manager, that's more of a CMO role thing. I need to that shouldn't be in here. We're going to fix that. That's more of a CMO thing. Site backup. So if we're backing up their website, it's $10 a month. These are for WordPress sites, by the way. We're getting away from WordPress. What do you guys do for web?
Oh, we got out of that.
So all your clients have a third-party web?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We moved them all. Like, it just started getting too crazy to try to secure them.
And who's doing that for you guys?
Well, so if they have their own, or we've got, we have this other company, local company here that we moved a bunch of them to. Seems to do a pretty good job.
Well, I have a guy named Hiram that's in India, paying him $300 a month right now to manage Jay and I's crap. 200 of it's coming from Jay because he's managing more of Jay stuff than he is mine. I'm paying him $100 a month, and he's
managing your stuff. What does that mean?
So
I have my camera. It's freaking out. It's bad. I've got some calls to do here.
you still see my screen?
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, you got a nice little avatar with a plug and a camera. Looks like your camera needs plugged in.
Yeah. So like if I turn it off, like it starts to I turn it back on. Like it comes on and it freaks out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come get you set for these calls for the MTP. We're gonna have to set you up with the camera and get your little setup going here. I got plenty of extra cameras. We'll get you set up looking good. So this is managed WP. This is how we're managing our websites currently right now. We keep them secure and we back them up through here. So let's just look at Jay Dwight.
Okay.
So we go to their dashboard. This tells you where you got some analytics here. Backups are successful. Last backup was 14 days ago. We don't back up daily on the website. Everything's up to date. No pending updates on plugins, things of that nature. So JDTCO's website. So this is just for WordPress only. And again, I'm getting away from it too. That's why we're going to HubSpot. As we do CMO role, clients that get on HubSpot, we get their website, we get their sales funnel, we get everything funneling through there, just like us. CMO role. Like I'm really hoping that, financials and sales and marketing, the MTP, the way we deliver services, we're also going to be the same team that handles our marketing and our sales funnel. Let's build an amazing sales funnel together. Like right now, if we go to navicore.com, like I want it to be black and white, very objective and straight to the point. Like we are the master tech plan. We provide clean services. I want the clients that adopt the framework, I want it to feel like a frame so that way they can fill it in with their picture. Like I want them to see themselves in the frame. So that's why that's part of my idea is to keep it very, even in the writing, we don't use analogies or metaphors. We keep it very dry and almost boring and objective and informational. Because I think based off of my psychology research and the way we do things. Like, if people feel like this is super exclusive and that it's super, like almost like a university or something like that, like they have to, like they're being challenged to work with this in a good way. There's something there like this is exclusive. You have to apply to be managed. We won't take somebody on managed because they say they want to be managed. If they say, hey, we want all the great results of managed, but they're truly reactive in nature and they can't see that they're reactive and they're going to continue being reactive and don't know what managed means, I'm not working with them. I will not put myself or my team through that headache. So we are going to qualify them. If they're truly managed, then we'll start working with them through reactive, proactive, and get them to managed. We will never start somebody at managed. Even if we feel like they're ready for managed and they're, oh, this is so awesome, we should start at the beginning and work our way up because we'll miss something if we don't. That's just me being scared and not knowing because it's all visionary. It's not, I've seen it happening with my clients now, but it's in slow motion. All right. We're over time. I feel like I'm stretching it here. So what I'd like to know based off this worksheet, and we have our VCIO breakdown here. I can go over that with you, how we break this down. And it's only supposed to go up to 2,500, but because I did the Microsoft, I didn't have a place to put $500 a month to manage just Microsoft. So I added a 1 unit. So instead of 5 at $500 an hour, giving them the cap out at $2,500 a month for VCIO, I'm charging them 6. That extra 1 is for the Microsoft management. So it's $3,000 a month. And that's just for management fees. That's just, they're paying $3,000 a month just for me to be here and managing their shit. That's not including the profits and everything else from all the other services and whatnot provided. It's going to be hard for me to let go of some of this funds, like even giving you the $1,000 a month to manage with what we talked about. Now, if Jay's going to continue taking calls, like that's my budget right now that I have that I can give up. It's $1,000 a month. And, Jay, I know he would like to get some of that money. If he's going to be doing the calls and stuff, here's what I want to see happen. I want us to work together to figure out the model, and we have to put money where it belongs. It's just a tool. If somebody's taking care of stuff, the money should flow there. So we got to figure out, and Andy should probably be part of that conversation too. In fact, I kind of want to bring him in on one of these chats with us to see, hey, how do we start looking at money here? Like, because he's going, like, I have an idea, but he's the money man. With the MTP, I want him to be the one that we go to with questions on money. He should understand what we're doing, the overall model, which he does to some degree. And I want him to understand what we're trying to build and make sure it's fairly being distributed so that way we all can grow and elevate. So somebody has to be in charge of money. Somebody has to watch the money, make sure it's flowing properly, that everybody's being fairly taken care of. I really do believe Andy's the right guy for that. I know I'm not the right guy for that. I'm the worst guy for that. So don't put me in that position. So I'll see if I can't get Andy to, I'll chat with Andy and see when a good time for him to meet up with us is. But as far as just wrapping up real quick, any final thoughts? What are your, we're just getting back to it. I'm kind of talking about September for a switch over and you taking over and I'm dropping enable. That's kind of up in the air right now. I don't know what we're doing, but that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah, we go towards that.
All right. Well,
okay.
We'll pick it up next week. And if you can, I don't know what your structure looks like, but I'd like us to try to figure out how we do when Wegman comes on, how do we look at the worksheet and how do we split this down and how do we get Jay involved? Like, what does bringing Wegman on is not going to be the model for everybody. We're going to create new clients will be the new model. The clients that we all have right now, building this with what we have, we stick with what we got. When we bring in a new opportunity into the MTP, that's when I need to know what that pricing is going to look like. How do we break it down? Who gets paid for what? If they're reactive, who's answering the calls when something breaks? And how all three of us working together for this tech plan. All tech plans. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Talk soon, boss.
Okay. All right. Thanks. See ya.
I'm a fucking idiot. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Is this all pointless? Hey Siri, is this all pointless? I know, baby. I know. I love you too. Stinky mouth. You got a stinky mouth. Yes, you Who's my lover boy? Uh, Yeah, Bubba. Um, hey. Press it. Jump.